Hello, and welcome to the Designing with Love podcast. I am your host, Jackie Pellegrin, where my goal is to bring you information, tips, and tricks as an instructional designer. Hello, GCU students and alumni. Welcome to episode 27 of the Designing with Love podcast. In this episode, I will cover the benefits and drawbacks to consider when utilizing the ADDIE model when designing and developing instructional solutions and learning experiences. In addition, I will discuss my personal experiences with using this model in instructional design. Before we dive into the key benefits and drawbacks of the ADDIE model, let's take a few minutes to review what the ADDIE model is and how it is used in instructional design. It was first developed in the 1970s by Florida State University for the U.S. military to create effective training programs. Since then, it has become a widely used model in all industries, including academia, corporate, military, and nonprofit organizations. One analogy that I like to use when referring to the ADDIE model is that it is like building a house. First, you start with the blueprints before you start building the house. Then, you lay the foundation, build the structure, make sure all elements pass the inspection, make sure the appliances and fixtures work, add the furniture and other decorative elements, and then move in. The ADDIE model is an acronym that is comprised of 5 phases: analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. During each of the 5 phases, there are specific tasks that should be completed to help ensure the instructional design project goes smoothly and is successful. In this episode, I will provide a brief synopsis of some specific tasks that you should complete in each phase. During the analysis phase, you have the opportunity to lay the groundwork for a successful learning experience. Remember, these are the blueprints before you start building your instructional solution or learning experience. This phase is about understanding the learning need, the audience, and the learning context. Some common tasks you will likely perform during this phase include the following. 1. Define the learning problem or need. 2. Conduct a needs assessment. 3. Identify the target audience. 4. Set the learning goals and objectives at a high level. 5. Assess existing materials or resources. 6. Analyze the learning environment. 7. Identify constraints and considerations. 8. Conduct stakeholder interviews and meetings. And finally, 9. Define the success criteria. It is important to remember that the analysis phase is built into the process to ensure that instructional design decisions are grounded in real needs and context. This phase is often thought of as the blueprint before any building begins. In the design phase, you will build on the findings from the analysis phase and focus on planning the learning experience in detail. This is the part where you lay the foundation. There are a handful of tasks you should perform during this phase, which include but are not limited to the following. 1. Write specific learning objectives. 2. Outline the course structure. 3. Select the instructional strategies. 4. Decide on the best delivery methods and modalities. 5. Design the assessment strategies. 6. Complete a storyboard or prototype of the content. 7. Choose or design the media and visual elements. 8. Develop the instructional materials at a draft level. 9. Check and ensure there is alignment between the learning objectives and the materials. And finally, number 10. Gather feedback from your stakeholders, SMEs, or peers to obtain early input before the development begins. Remember, while the analysis phase is all about the what and why, the design phase focuses on the how. This is where strategy, structure, and creativity come together to help you create a solid plan for building effective and engaging learning experiences. Next, during the development phase, you will bring everything to life that you planned during the design phase. This is a stage in the process where you are building the content, media, and materials. This also provides you an opportunity to test and refine the learning materials before implementation. Some common tasks you will likely perform in the development phase include the following. 1. Create the instructional materials. 2. Develop any multimedia elements. 3. Build the assessments and activities. 4. Program or author e-learning modules using tools like Articulate Storyline, Rise, or Adobe Captivate. 5. Apply branding and accessibility standards to ensure the materials align with the organizational branding and meet accessibility guidelines. 6. Review and revise the content in collaboration with SMEs and stakeholders. 7. Conduct internal testing to check the materials for functionality, accuracy, navigation, and flow. 8. Pilot or beta test the course with a sample group of target learners to gather feedback on usability, clarity, and engagement. 9. Refine the materials based on feedback. And finally, 10. Package the content and prepare it for delivery. Basically, the development phase is where design becomes reality. This is the hands-on stage and requires attention to detail, creativity, and collaboration to ensure the final product is engaging, effective, and ready for learners. In the implementation phase, this is where all of your hard work comes to fruition. In this phase, the learning experience is delivered to the target audience through the chosen delivery method. There are a handful of tasks you will likely perform in this phase, which include the following. 1. Coordinate training logistics, which can include scheduling the sessions, assigning instructors or facilitators, and ensuring all materials and resources are ready and available. 2. Deliver the training. 3. Provide access and support to the instructors, facilitators, and learners as needed. 4. Facilitate the learning experience as needed. 5. Monitor participation and engagement. 6. Support learners during the rollout. 7. Train the facilitators or instructors. 8. Collect immediate and timely feedback. 9. Resolve any technical or instructional issues as they arise. And finally, number 10. Document the rollout process to include records of who received training, when it occurred, and any challenges or lessons learned during the implementation process. Remember, the implementation phase is centered around execution and learner support. This phase is where instructional designers shift into project coordination and troubleshooting mode to help ensure a smooth and impactful learning experience. Finally, during the evaluation phase, this is an opportunity to determine whether your instructional solution actually worked and how it can be improved for future iterations. In this phase, I will outline 10 tasks that you should perform, which include the following. 1. Conduct a formative evaluation, which includes gathering feedback during the design and development process. 2. Conduct a summative evaluation, which is where you collect data after the learning experience has been delivered to determine its overall effectiveness. 3. Analyze learner feedback by using post-training surveys, polls, or focus groups. 4. Assess learning outcomes by evaluating the results from quizzes, tests, assignments, or activities to measure knowledge or skill acquisition. 5. Evaluate the behavior and performance change to determine whether learners are applying what they learned. 6. Measure ROI or return on investment or business impact to analyze how the training affected business goals or KPIs, known as key performance indicators. And 7. Identify areas for improvement. 8. Create evaluation reports by documenting findings so that you can share the results with stakeholders. 9. Recommend revisions by suggesting updates or redesigns based on what the evaluation reveals. And finally, number 10. Plan for continuous improvement by setting a schedule or process for revisiting the training content periodically to ensure it stays relevant and effective. Think of the evaluation phase as a way to close the loop. This ensures your instructional design efforts are not only implemented, but measured and refined. As you gain additional knowledge, skills, and experiences in your program at GCU, you will learn the importance of using this phase to validate the impact of the instructional solution and continuously evaluate your learning solutions. If you would like to view a visual infographic that summarizes some of the common tasks I described in each phase, please review the resource link in the show notes. All right, so now that you have a good understanding of what the ADDIE model is, how it is used in instructional design, and the common tasks you should perform in each stage, I will take the opportunity to review 4 benefits of using the model for instructional design projects. The first benefit of the ADDIE model is it provides a structured and systematic approach to instructional design. This can be beneficial for those who are new to the field of instructional design. Another benefit is this model allows for flexibility and adaptability in different learning environments. Whether you are designing an instructional solution or learning experience for academic, corporate, nonprofit, or a government setting, you can use this model to adapt to the needs of the project. A third benefit is that the evaluation phase ensures the learning materials are of the highest quality for your learners. You can even build quality assurance processes into your projects to ensure there are multiple layers of reviews conducted. Finally, another benefit when using the ADDIE model is that it focuses on the learner needs and experiences. When you are designing instructional solutions and learning experiences, it is essential to consider the learner's needs and experiences and how your learners will interact with the content. All right, so now that we know about some of the key benefits of the ADDIE model, let's go over some of the drawbacks to be aware of so that you can be well informed and make good decisions about whether this model is right for your future projects. The first drawback of the model is that the way it is built is for thoroughness, makes it time-consuming. This can be challenging when you have a project that needs to be developed in a short period of time. Another drawback of the ADDIE model is that it can stifle creativity due to its structured approach. Therefore, if you have a project that centers around taking a creative approach to learning, it is essential to be aware of this drawback. A third drawback of the model is there may be some struggles with rapid changes or updates to the learning content because of the way the model is structured. Therefore, if your project relies on collaboration and heavy stakeholder input, this is a drawback to be aware of as well. Finally, another drawback when using the ADDIE model is that it has a heavy emphasis on planning that might not suit all projects or teams. As some of my listeners may be aware of with the ADDIE model, the design and development phases focus on planning, and it can be difficult to move forward to the implementation phase until these phases are complete. Before I wrap up this podcast episode, I wanted to take a few minutes to provide some of my personal thoughts and experiences with using the ADDIE model in instructional design. During my time working as an instructional designer in the corporate and higher education sectors, I have found the ADDIE model a reliable method for designing and developing curriculum and instructional solutions. Before I landed my first job as an instructional designer, I decided to go to school and earn my master's degree in instructional design and technology. Throughout the program, I had the opportunity to dive deep into each phase of the ADDIE model in each of my courses. This gave me an appreciation for using this model when designing effective learning experiences. I have also enjoyed teaching others how to effectively use the ADDIE model in a variety of industries. So this is why I love teaching classes at GCU, because not only do I get to do the work every day as an instructional designer, but I also get to teach part-time and teach the next generation and with those that are looking to come into this career, looking to be career changers, or just looking for ways to be able to enhance what they already do in their current roles. So it's exciting. I hope you have found this information about the benefits and drawbacks of the ADDIE model helpful as you work on your future instructional design projects. As a recap, we covered what the ADDIE model is, 4 specific benefits and drawbacks of the model, along with some of my personal thoughts and experiences with using it in instructional design projects. Now that you know more about the ADDIE model, I would encourage you to share your experiences and thoughts about the model by sending me a text message here in the podcast episode. Before I conclude this episode, here is an inspiring quote about instructional design by Julie Dirksen, the author of the book Design for How People Learn. Learning experiences are the most effective when they are intentional, meaningful, and memorable. If you would like to view and download an image of this quote generated by ChatGPT, please visit the show notes. Thank you for taking some time to listen to this podcast episode today. Your support means the world to me. If you'd like to help keep the podcast going, you can share it with a friend or colleague, leave a heartfelt review, or offer a monetary contribution. Every act of support, big or small, makes a difference, and I'm truly thankful for you.